All right, welcome back. Todd Morris with you here on the Bulldog Radio Network, and it's time to sit down with UMS-Wright head football coach Terry Curtis for our weekly pregame interview. And Coach, we went on the road last week to Bruton, Alabama, and came away with a win, 23-15, over a very good T.R. Miller team. Your thoughts on the game last week?
Well, it's about like we expected.
Yep.
T.R. Miller, a lot of tradition. We talked about it last week. They're going to try to run the football, and they were able to do it. And at some points in the game, they made us like it. So it was good to get out of there. I thought we played a little bit better offensively. We had the long drive after the stop down there that was really big, and moved the ball pretty much like we wanted to. Threw the ball around a little bit, and hopefully it'll help us this week. You don't want to say you were looking ahead, but you could tell the players did what they had to do to win the game, but we're looking kind of to this week anyway. And it was a good time. We played St. Paul's, had an off week, then go there, knowing we got Faith right behind them.
Yeah.
So it was a good time to catch us, and yet we were good enough, I guess, to win the game, even though for the most part it could have gone either way.
When we talked last week in our pregame interview, we talked about having to go on the road and learning to play a complete game. On the road, do you feel like you accomplished that last week, or the team played better throughout the whole game for you?
Well, I thought they did, but I'm not, I'm not sure. You don't want to say intensity. I felt our kids played hard, but it just wasn't that fire and running around like normal. So, we've got to get better at that. Again, I thought we came out in the second half and did what we had to do. But I still don't think we've played our best game, nor do I think we've played a complete game, because they did get where they could. Early in the game, the midline was hurting us, and later in the game, the veer stuff and the running backs were gashing us pretty good.
Yeah. Penalties hurt us again, though. 7 of them for 60 yards last week. I'm sure that's something you've been harping on all week.
Well, you've got to get out of it. We've had the motion. We had 3 motion penalties, 1 delay penalty on an extra point. We missed an extra point and had a holding penalty real early in the game and those sort of things. But, to play a complete game, you can't do the stupid. You're going to have enough penalties that you don't want to say justified, but are going to happen, in the heat of battle and stuff like that. But you can't have the motions and the delays and the stupid penalties.
Yeah.
That there is something you can do about the mental part of it.
So we're at the halfway point of the season, 4-1 on the year. Defense is playing well, averaging only giving up 8 points a game. They forced 9 turnovers. Are you happy with where they are at this point in the season?
Well, I was till last week. T.R. Miller showed. I told the kids on Monday they showed a lot of problems and things that we've got to fix to get better. And I will say this week's practice has been much more attentive, much more paying attention to detail, and doing those sort of things. But we're playing good on defense. There's some things that we still worry about them doing to us and stuff, and we've gone through some injuries too at the same position.
Yeah.
Like we've lost last week. We played without our tight end. Had to play a sophomore who's going to be a good player, but he's just not strong enough again. We Paul Phillips got a high ankle sprain during warm-ups. So that again, now there's 2 defensive linemen that we were counting on that we played most of the game without. So. And tonight, Paul's going to probably try to play or whatever, but you don't know how long you'll be able to go with that ankle.
Offensively, so far this year, Cole Blaylock's been most of the offense. He's touching the ball 1 out of every 2 plays. He's averaging over 100 yards a game rushing now. But the other side of that is I think everybody knows he's going to get the ball, but they still haven't been able to stop him. So what are your feelings on that going into the second half of the season?
Well, you got to have back in our day we called it a bell cow or someone you can count on. And Cole is that guy. And, we show enough formations. We move people around. with different things that you can do that and still run cold.
Yeah.
The plays don't change, the formations change, and all that sort of thing. But we've got to get where our quarterback's making a few more plays and our wideouts are making some big plays. And what we need, Todd, is some explosive plays. We need some 70-yard touchdowns or 50-yard touchdowns or even 40-yard touchdowns, because at any level, and especially high school, it's hard to get the ball like we did last week and go 94 yards with it at 5 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, all the way down the field, 15 plays. That's hard to do.
And not make a mistake.
And not make a mistake at any level, But man, he just continues to amaze me. He's got great vision, knows how to run. He's tough, and like I told somebody the other day, I'm glad he's on our team.
Yeah, exactly. When you talk about explosive plays, though, I wish we had a stat on average starting field position, because our return teams have put us in some really good places starting drives, and we're close to having an explosive play there. I think we're going to see it sooner or later here in the coming weeks.
Well, we really thought, number one, we could block a kick. Now, we end up not, and Jay was upset with himself. And I said, Jay, that wasn't your fault. I said, I thought about calling it off and just playing safe at that point in the game. But we need something big to happen to give us confidence. We have not blocked a kick all year long. We don't block many of them in practice. So I really thought we could block a kick against him, and if the guy wouldn't have kind of, I don't even know how he kicked this, short-legged it over to the side over at about a 2-yard punt, we would have blocked it.
Yeah.
But end up getting a roughing penalty there. We're real close on kickoff returns, returning one. We work hard with both of our groups on onside kicks, and there again, I think it was like 4 minutes ago, and I was going to put them in there, and I said, no, these guys deserve a chance. They've been recovering them pretty good, and we fumble it and give it up. So I told Luke Stringer, I said, that's the last chance you'll get.
You got your one and only chance.
You got one and only. So that kind of stuff. But we are really close. And, we've always been good at having some plays that momentum changers or game changers or whatever you want to call it in our kicking game. Right. We punted one time, and heck, the boy fair caught the ball in the end zone. I think 53-yard punt. So Barton's kicking the ball great. I could not be more pleased, other than we get to block a kick or return a kick for a score.
All right, so big game here tonight against Faith Academy. They're 3-2 on the year, but we're stepping back into region play and win this one tonight. We're pretty much in the driver's seat in the region. I'm sure you've been talking to the kids about Faith beating us twice last year.
Well, we hadn't really talked about that because they remember that for the most part. But Faith's got a lot of athletes, a lot of skill. Even the new ones, they lost some good ones, but they got some young ones, and they got the number 5, the James kid, and 23. The quarterback's back for another year. He seems to be a real heady player. So they've got plenty of guys. And the deal tonight, Todd, is going to be kind of how we can do against them in space and playing our techniques and doing the things that we need to do, and then moving the ball on offense. We're going to have a chance to make some big plays offensively. Now we got to start making a few of those plays.
Right. Any injuries? You talked about a couple of them earlier. Anybody going to be out tonight?
Well, Paul Phillips, the defensive lineman, will be a game time decision, and Thomas Hall, our tight end, will be the same way.
Okay.
They both practiced a little bit Tuesday and all yesterday, so we'll see how they're feeling as we get to the night and watch them warm up, and hopefully they can.
All right, Coach. All right, well, thanks for joining us on the pregame show. We always look forward to sitting down with you, talking to you every week. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, a big 5A Region 1 matchup coming up tonight, UMS-Wright, Faith Academy. So let's take a break. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a minute, right here on the Bulldog Radio Network, Sports Talk, 99.5 Mobile, and iHeart Radio station.